Yo, what up? Let's stay hydrated, okay? Because this heat is no joke. If you don't know me, my name is Itzel. I am the owner and creator of VidaCrofty. If you do know me, hi, welcome back. In my last video, I shared all of my favorite patterns, but the free ones. So this time I thought I could talk to you guys about my favorite patterns right now, but that are paid. So I paid for them. Let's get started. The first pattern that I paid for, which I'm really in love with right now, and I'm waiting to make more, Baby Olivia, and it's by OllieCrochet. This pattern is so cute and so easy. I think it's beginner friendly. I believe it is. I think if I would have started with this, I think I would be okay with it. You use about 3 grams of the yellow, 10 grams of the green, which is the arms and the legs, and 7 grams of like the outer, which is like the petals. It took me about 20 minutes, a little bit less. I've seen a lot of people use it as keychains, which it's actually a pretty good idea. And then all together it weighs about 23 grams. So it's not bad. It's actually a really good pattern. I actually love it. Will I make it again? Yes, I would. I'm actually I have a big event coming up and I'm going to make a couple of them. That way I have enough to sell. For my second pattern, it's called Flower Friend Sophie, which I'll put a picture here. And it is by MariaCrochetco. This pattern was super cool. Like, I had a little bit of trouble with the legs, but it was my fault. It was not her fault. The pattern is super self-explanatory. I think it's really, really, really beginner friendly. It took me about 54 minutes, but I'm pretty sure that if I get the hang of it and I continue to practice it, I think it'll take me less than that. It took about 14 grams of a color, 17 grams of another color, and then about 38 grams of another color. So altogether, it weighed about 72 grams. So it's not that bad. It's actually super market friendly. I made 2. Unfortunately, I haven't sold any. I don't know if it's because either they're too expensive or because I didn't use good colors. I'm not sure. But hopefully I sell them soon. Will I make them again? Of course, dude. I feel like as soon as I sell these, I'm gonna make more. That way I'll always have one, at least 1 or 2. I have 2 right now. Like, they haven't sold, but I'm pretty sure they will soon. Hopefully. My third pattern is the Birdie Friends. I made a couple of them. Well, actually, I made 2 types of birds, which was a raven and it was I forgot the kind of the other one, but it was yellow. So these birds are super, super easy. This one took about 32 minutes. It's actually not that bad. It's super market friendly. And the yellow one sold the first market that I made. Like I made it, and then the next market it sold. And then the ravens, one of the ravens I have it at the storefront, which hasn't sold yet. But the other one that I had for my markets already sold. It took about 40 grams of one, which was the raven, and then about 5 grams of the other of another color. Since I made the raven, I didn't really give another price for the other one. I just decided to keep all of them on the same price. Same pattern is pretty much used for all of them. So the only thing pretty much that changes is like the colors and the combinations. I forgot to say who it was from. I'm so sorry about that, but I don't want to mispronounce it. I'll just leave her name here. Will I make it again? Of course. Like, I'm already thinking of what kind of colors I'm going to use for the next bird, or if I'm just going to continue to do the ravens, because they sold so fast, and I mean, it was pretty good actually. So we'll see what colors I make next. For my fourth pattern, it's going to be the Jellybee, which in my case I call them the abejas culonas, which pretty much is big booty bees. It's this one's right here. So they are so cute. If you can see, they have a big booty and that's what they look like. I have noticed that not a lot of colors sell. I made some yellow with black and they sold at the first market. So this ones I made them at the same time as I did the other ones. Actually, I made them before that market, and this one's still here. And there's another one that I made which is pink, and they have not sold. So I have another one on my storefront and it hasn't sold either. So which means the people really like yellow and black bees, which I know it's the actual traditional bee. I wanted to play around with the colors, but I realized that people don't like that. So I'm going to make more. This pattern is by Oakandmarlow, and I love her patterns. She's super cool. She has shared some of my items that I have shared on my page, so she's pretty cool. I have spoken to her and she's actually really nice. This one took about 5 grams of one color, 21 grams of another color, 20 grams of another color. So in total it was about 81 grams for the whole plushie, and it took me about 40 minutes for each. So I kept them at $17, and I think that's about right on the size and the work that I put into it and everything. I think $17 is fine. But let me know if you think it's too expensive or too low. Let me know. For my 5th pattern, we have the Chive frog. I think that's how you say it. This pattern is by Loopswithlauren. I'll leave her name here. This pattern is like one of my favorites. Like, I love this pattern right now. So it's this one. I love her. Our family and even my baby already knows what they are and who they are. We call them las ranas patonas, which is big leg frogs, I guess. We love him. Like, this is so cute. I am in love with him. Like, I love the way this is. This one, the polyfill is only on the head. The arms, the body, and the legs don't have any fill in them. The eyes have a little bit of it, but not really. And yeah, so this is it. You use about 81 grams of yarn and about 10 grams of polyfill. So this is it. Like, this is it. I give them for $27, if you guys couldn't tell. It takes about 63 minutes to do this. They were selling really, really good. Like, we couldn't keep up with the markets making them, because my mom used to make 2 or 3, and that market, they would fly. Like, they would fly. But lately, this frog has been at our markets for like 2 markets, 3 markets, and he hasn't sold. So maybe, I don't know if you watched my last video, but when you are really active on markets, it gets harder and harder to like keep selling the same things. So I feel like this is what happened with this one. I feel like we were taking them for all of our markets, and now it's just like, oh, it's just the frogs, that's it, you know? I love how his eyes are like one right here, or sometimes one is here and the other one's here, or sometimes they're both facing the front. So yeah, I love this one. So will I make them again? Hell yeah, dude. This is like the best. I love him. I don't understand why I haven't kept one, because this is like the cutest thing ever, and I love him. For my 6th pattern, we have the Nixie axolotls. I'll leave a picture here because I don't have them anymore. This one is by Lemoncatcrochet. I'll leave her name here. This one was super cool to make. I love the outcome. I love the way the pattern is written. As you can tell on the picture, the only thing that's filled up, I believe, is the head. That's it. I think the legs were filled a little bit, but that's about it. Everything else is completely, it's like a snuggler type thing. It took about 87 grams of one color, about 11 of another color, about 50 grams of another color, For me, it took about 155 minutes, but I love the outcome. Now, I'm gonna say this. Since it did take me that long, they were kind of pricey. I had them at $65. Now, they lasted in my booth for a long time. I believe it was because of the price, yes. So once I lowered the price, and as soon as I lowered the price, they went. Like, they went right away. Will I make them again? Yes. I'm already thinking of what colors I'm going to be using for my event. I'm already thinking about what eyes I'm going to be using because I used special eyes. I call them special eyes because they're like glittery and stuff. So I'm looking into the colors of the eyes. That way I can match them with the colors of the yarn. So yeah, I'm excited. Water break. If you haven't gotten one of these cups, you should. It's an S and SM, I guess. But they're super practical. I was never used to the Stanley ones, and I don't think I should pay that much for a cup. For my 7th pattern, we have the Chonky axolotls, which are these. These ones have cute eyes. I have some that have only normal eyes and normal safety eyes, and they do vary in prices. I'll tell you more about that right now. This is the pattern creator with Momsstitchetti. If I mispronounce it, I'm sorry. These are so freaking cute. As you can tell, I really like axolotls, so I really like making axolotls. So these have not been selling really good for me. I don't know why. I don't know if people are done with axolotls. I'm not sure. But I used to have these for $21 because of the eyes. The eyes make the plushie really pricey. But it wasn't selling, so I had to lower it to $19. Hopefully they sell. If they don't sell, then I'm gonna have to lower them even more, which I hope not, because I have to pay for those eyes and my time. This takes about 35 grams of one color and then 5 grams of another color. So for the total weight is 66 grams. It takes me about 38 minutes, 40 minutes maybe. Takes me. I think the most tedious part is this thing right here. And then sewing in the ends and everything else. And then you have to put some here too. Will I make them again? I don't know. I still have a lot of axolotls, the ones with the black eyes. They've been in my inventory for a long time. I haven't made new ones in a while, and they're still there. They're still just sitting there in my they just sit there in my booth, and then nobody takes them. Nobody even looks at them sometimes. I really don't want to lower the price because that's how long they take me. And I don't know, and I priced them when I used to pay myself lower than what I pay myself now. So I don't know if I'm going to continue making them, to be honest. I feel like they might be not worth my time anymore. For my 8th pattern, we have the Groovy Monster. I don't have any right now. This is so crazy, but this monster, as soon as I make one, it goes. Like, as soon as I make a Groovy Monster, it just decides to go. Like, it does. They don't last in my booth for a long time. The first one that I made is this one, and that one, I made it. I finished it, I think, a day before I had the market. That was my first ever market. As soon as I made it, it left. Like, it left right away. And then this is the second one I made, and that one, as soon as I made it for a festival, and I made it, and then it didn't go the first day, but it went the second day. The second day that we were there, it left. It's a really good pattern. It's actually pretty fun to work with it. The first one that I made was with Premier Yarn, and the second one that I made was with Posh. And both of the hats were, I believe, with the same yarn. I'm not completely sure. For that one, it took 158 grams of one color, then 170 grams from another color, which was the hat. It did take me a long time though. It took me a long time. It took me about 3 hours to make. The second one that I made, it took less time. I forgot to say, I'm so sorry. It's by Raven.jadeco, and I love her patterns. I have made a lot of her patterns because they're super cute and super out of the ordinary. Will I make it again? Yes. I'm actually thinking of what color I'm going to use. If I'm going to use either Premier or Posh. For my 9th pattern, it's going to be Patches the Pumpkin, and it's this one right here, and it's by Crochetbykelsie. I loved this pattern. I was such a big fan of this pattern. She makes it all cute and stuff, and I decided to make it all weird and creepy and everything, which I loved. It was one of my favorite creations. It was actually one that I was super proud of. I remember my boyfriend saw it and he's like, whoa, that looks pretty cool, and I loved it. It did take a while for it to sell, I'm not going to lie. It wasn't that expensive. It was like $70. I believe it took about 2.5 hours, maybe 3. I'm not completely sure. Yeah, it was kind of a lot of work for me as a slow crocheter. I am not sure in the measurements completely because when I made it, I was still learning how to time everything. I was still learning how to use my pricing calculator, which is by Cameron Cute Creations. I am going to make it again. I am going to, maybe I'm going to be making 2. That way I can keep one for my storefront, and that way I can do one for my markets. For my 10th pattern and my last pattern, this is the cow pattern, which is like super famous right now around the crochet world, which is by CrochetGrove. This pattern is the cutest thing ever. I love it. I'm in love with this pattern. I'm waiting for her giraffe pattern right now because I am super excited about it. But this one took me about 130 minutes, which is not that bad, but I think I could do better. I don't know if I left the pictures here, but I'll put them right here. It took about 92 grams of one color, 16 grams of another color, 11 grams of another color, 24 grams of another color, and I did use the pretty eyes. I have one in my storefront and I have one on my booth. Will I make it again? Hell yeah, dude. Like, I'm in love with this pattern. So that's all of the patterns that are paid. Now for the bonus. I do have a bonus one, which is my own pattern. This is my first released pattern that I made, already available on my Etsy, and it's not that expensive. It's only $2.50 if you're interested in buying it. It is for this whale. Her name is Ellie. I named her Ellie. I do sell her in different styles, which is this one. We sell her as a keychain, which is this one. She's so cute. It's this one. And we also sell her as a big plushie, which is a jumbo. If you put it next to this one, it's like a big difference, right? So this one is $20, this one is $10, and this one is $10 too, because of this and everything else. So I don't have the specific amount of yarn for this one over here, but I do have everything here for this one. It was 44 grams for this color, and then like about 11 grams of this color. It takes about 30 minutes to make this one. Now, I actually do have another video making a small one like that, which only took me 17 minutes. Again, I am a slow crocheter, so it might take you even less time. For the keychains, I think it takes my mom about the same time, which is 17 minutes, maybe a little bit less, I'm not sure. But I love this pattern. This is so dear to me because this is my first ever pattern that I came up with. And I am so excited and I'm so happy about it. It's on my Etsy. If you want to check it out, maybe you'll want to purchase it. So that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. If you like this patterns, if you have tried one of these patterns, let me know. If you would like, follow me on my other social medias. I do have them here in the description box. If you would like, subscribe. And thank you so much for staying here, and have a good day. Peace.